everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deep and I am so glad you're here because today we're going to be talking about this lovely piece I'm wearing called the Prospect Pullover. So this was my first ever sweater that I finished, and it is a pattern by Tori Yu, and I think I just want to hop in and discuss like all of my thoughts about the pattern and about the sweater and just kind of like the process. I can't say too much obviously because it is a paid pattern, so I want to be fair to the creator. However, I'll just share some small details with you that I think are, just normal things that you'd know about a pattern before purchasing it. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so let's hop right into the yarn that I used. So for this project, I used Estelle DK in the colorway Cranberry Heather. And then in your 100-gram skein, I'm just double checking here, you get 273 yards. And at my local yarn shop, this is $10 a skein, which for me was an affordable option, and I really liked that I was able to support my local yarn shop and go and shop local, which made me very happy. For the composition of this yarn, it's 50% acrylic, 40% wool, and 10% nylon. So you get the warmth, you get the softness, and the stretch. It's like a perfect combo of everything. If you want to start using some wool for that warmth and you don't want that like classic itchy wool feeling, this is amazing. Like, I'm wearing it just as is. I don't have like a tank top underneath and I feel nothing against me. It feels amazing. And the yarn is just so lightweight. Normally when I did all my projects before, I was using like chunky weight yarn for like hats and like mittens and stuff, so it like worked out faster. But I definitely like the lighter weight yarn better because first off, it doesn't strain your hands, but on you it just feels so nice and easy to wear. In terms of the yarn and working with it, I really liked it. I didn't experience any splitting or anything, and it was really nice. It was smooth on my needles, and overall I had an awesome experience. I have the same yarn for one other project, which is a shawl, and then I have Estelle's worsted weight for a different sweater. So safe to say, I've like fallen in love with this, and it is a Canadian brand. So if you do want to support Canadian, definitely go give Estelle a try. This is not sponsored by them or anything. I'm just raving about it by myself. And then for overall construction of the sweater, so basically this is a drop shoulder construction, and I really like that because it gives like a nice relaxed look and it makes it just so comfy. I like my structured sweaters as well, but I think this just looks so nice. And I was wearing it with jeans to a dinner just 2 days ago, and then yesterday I was wearing it with sweats when my husband and I were running errands, and it looked great with both. So I think just having that construction kind of makes it a little bit more easier to wear with a variety of different outfits. You can dress it up and down, and I really like that about pieces because I feel like it should all just be very versatile and you can use it all across the board if you want to. So just about the pattern itself, without giving away too much information because this is a paid pattern by Tori Yu and I want to respect any creator's effort and work, I will just give some info about kind of like how this pattern works if you want to dive into knitting your first sweater. So basically you're doing a repeat of rows. So I'll show you on the sleeves here. So you're doing like this knit part, you're doing this purl part that sticks up, knit, and then this like wider stripe. So you can see like this texture just repeats all across on the sleeves and even on the body. And I really like that because it keeps you engaged. You're like, okay, like now I've like finished this knit section, I have to do the wide one. Then I finish this one and then I do the purl, and like what's coming up next. And because of that, you can kind of gauge like how many rows you have left until you've hit the proper length that you want. I think that kind of kept my attention and made me just keep going and keep knitting and have this like fly off my needles. Even though, yes, it took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to. That's because I got stuck on Sleeve Island, but it's okay because it happens to everybody. As for actual construction of this, you start at the back here doing the back shaping, and then you come towards the front, and then you join in the round and you work the like body, the back and the front in the round. You do your ribbing at the bottom, you do your ribbing at the top here, and then you work on your awesome sleeves. Again, Sleeve Island sucked. Like, this is my first sweater. I did not think that I would get stuck on it, and then there I was for 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like doing this. My local yarn shop had a sweater fashion show, and that's actually what motivated me to get back into this sweater. So, big shout out there. That also gave me an idea for like 6 more sweaters. I bought the yarn for one of those sweaters, um, but that'll be a story for another time. But yeah, I'm super happy with how it looks. Um, and the pattern was really, really easy to follow. I think if you're having any troubles, like for some stuff I wasn't sure, I just went onto YouTube and searched up that specific technique, and that helped me figure it out. And then I just kind of kept on going with working on this beautiful, beautiful piece. For the overall difficulty of this pattern, I would rate it for an advanced beginner, just because there are some techniques that you are probably going to need to learn on YouTube. I have been knitting for quite a while, however, like a while meaning like almost 10 years, but I've never tackled a sweater because I picked up knitting throughout university, and for me it was like a little bit impossible to knit a sweater while I was getting my degrees. But so I think some of those techniques I didn't really know. Some of them I'm just like, I have not knit properly in a while, so I need help. So I went onto YouTube. But I think the reason I put it at advanced is because of those techniques, and also because of the length of the project. Like it's a longer project. However, I feel like it's more engaging than just working on a scarf that's only in stockinette or only in garter stitch, because you do have these like lovely textured rows. And lastly, we'll just chat about some modifications that I made to the pattern. This is not me like altering the creator's work or anything. It's just things that I did for my own fit that I wanted of this sweater. And then maybe somehow perhaps forgetting to read the instructions on something and then having to do that for the rest of the sweater. But I'll leave that up to you to decide if I forgot to read or if I made a modification. So, first modification I made was the length of the sweater, and I'll include photos at the end and a few videos of kind of what it looks like on me. But these like wider stripes here on the body, for most people that did the test knit and for the pattern designer herself, they had 6 of those wide stripes. I kind of decided that I just want to have 5 of them because I like wearing high-waisted jeans, and a cropped sweater just looks nicer on me. So I only did 5 of those. That was my first modification, and I think it fit great. I love how it looks way, way more than just like the longer one, and it just worked out better for me. I think that's the best part, is you can always modify to how you want. The pattern designer, Tori Yu, does give you instructions on how long to knit it for, like the proper length to go to. But again, I just modified that because of the shape that I wanted, or the length that I wanted it. And it's just awesome because you're making your own piece for you, and because you're making it with your own 2 hands, you can kind of do what's best for you. And then the part that I might have forgotten to read, but I will not confirm that, is so for the ribbing here, before you bind off, you're supposed to do a knit row and then bind it off. And I may or may not have read that and then just not done it on the collar. And then I just didn't do it for the rest because it wouldn't have looked consistent. So yeah, I just missed that part. I didn't do that knit row. I just finished my ribbing and I did the bind off. I also did only 7 rounds of ribbing, and I think the pattern called for 12. So I just decided to cut it a bit short because I liked how this looked. The reason being was this thicker stripe, I felt like the 7 rows of ribbing matched that width a little bit better, and I just kind of thought it looked more cohesive for me and my personal style. I fully thought like all of the photos with the 12 rounds of ribbing looked beautiful. I just chose to do this around personal preference, but I did that all around. So no ending knit row on the ribbing, and then only 7 rounds between the sleeve and the collar and the bottom hem. So all in all, this was an amazing pattern to work on, and I'm so happy with how the piece turned out. I'd say the pattern was very easy to follow. It's nice and beginner friendly, or like advanced beginner friendly. And if you're at all wondering about any of the techniques, it's very easy to find them all on YouTube. I think it worked out very well and very quick. I just definitely got stuck on Sleeve Island, so it took me a little bit longer than I had thought, but I still finished in a reasonable time. If I hadn't been stuck on Sleeve Island, it probably only would have taken me about 3 weeks. But when you factored in Sleeve Island for 2 weeks, it took about 5. And that's totally okay because it's not about fast knitting. It's about getting your piece done. And whether that be in 3 days or 3 months, that's up to you, right? I just overall 10 out of 10 pattern. I've already looked at more of her designs and I think I might do the Henley next, but we'll see because she has this really cute hat coming out soon. I think it's called the Cityscape Beanie, so I might be doing that one. So I guess we'll see. But overall, totally love this. I totally recommend that you give it a shot. It's super fun, super engaging, and just an easy one for an awesome all the time wear. Before I let you all go, here's a couple photos and videos of what the sweater looked like on me. And that's it for today. Thank you all for joining me on this little project and pattern review. I really appreciate you taking the time here to stick around and listen to me yap. I appreciate all of you who watched my last vlog video as well. I got more views on that than usual. It was like 32 views, and I feel very, very happy that 32 of you stuck around to listen to me yap and work on a little scarf. If you like the vlog videos, if you like this format, whatever it is, please let me know in the comments below. And if you're working on a fun sweater, let me know what it is because I'm always adding projects to the list. With that being said, thanks again for sticking around. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will have more videos coming out for you very, very soon.